أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا كل شيء خلقناه بقدر وما أمرنا إلا واحدة كلمح بالبصر ولقد أهلكنا أشياءكم فهل من مدكر وكل شيء فعلوه في الزبر وكل صغير وكبير مستقر. إنا كل شيء خلقناه بقدر وما أمرنا إلا واحدة كلمح بالبصر ولقد أهلكنا أشياءكم فهل من مدكر وكل شيء فعلوه في الزبر وكل صغير وكبير مستقر. إنا متكئين في جنات ونهر في مقعد الصدق عند مليك مقتدر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان. الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان. Assalamu alaikum. Last couple weeks have been pretty busy around here. We've had probably 8 inches of rain in the last couple weeks. Between 8 and 10, depending on exactly where you live around here. And everything has just been really growing. I cut the grass. Actually, this will be the second time this year I cut the grass, because I cut it right before the dry spell and then it never grew back. So I cut the grass on Friday. Today is Monday, and it is really should be cut again. I should start cutting it again. It's starting to get a little tall. Garden's doing pretty good. The weeds almost got away from me, but I also pulled a muscle in my back, so I took like 3 days off, and I cultivated just a little bit ago with Thunder, and there was a lot of weeds out there. I think if I go over it again either later today or tomorrow, it should take care of it. This is where we're at in the garden. Corn's doing great. It's waist high. Peppers doing good. Cabbage. Zucchini, or cucumbers rather. Onions. Tomatoes. I need to weed these and put the stakes in. That's probably what I'll do tomorrow. But it's coming right along. Looking pretty good. So far we've gotten zucchini, cucumbers, and peppers out of the garden. That's about all that we've had ready so far this year. Green beans will be ready pretty soon. They're coming right along. Have you guys gotten anything from your garden yet? If so, what have you got? Leave in the comments and let me know. Another project I've been working on is I took my buggy wheels off and I had to have them retightened. The set I had on here was probably about, I think we figured it was about 8 years old. But I've kept them painted every year and everything, but that dry spell, especially when the wheels start getting a little older, the wood just shrinks down right out of the tire. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. You can see though how much of a gap there is there in those spokes. So especially when it's dry, the wood just kind of like, when it's old, it just contracts like that. And so what they do is take the tire and cut it and re-shrink it down to fit. So anyways, this is the next set that's going once that set gets done. This set wasn't too bad. He told me it'd probably be about $120 for the whole set to have it redone. And only give him 2 weeks. So waiting for that. And then I'm going to take this set off. I actually haven't used this wagon in probably 2 years because this wheel was so bad that I was afraid to go anywhere that would come apart on me. And for a while there, I couldn't find anybody who would fix them. And they were saying a new set, wooden set, is around $700 right now. So I was saving up for a new set, but I found somebody that fixes them. So I take these in and he'll go in and see if there's any spokes that are bad or whatever, and retighten them up. Just this back one was really the worst one. One time the last time I used it when I was coming home, I just happened to notice that this tire right here was like way over here, just barely on the wood, and I jumped out, stopped in the road, and I just used my boot and kicked it back on, and every quarter of a mile or so I'd have to stop and knock it back on. It just kept coming off the wood. So actually this damp weather we had, it's kind of tightened up. Before you could just wiggle that and it would slide back and forth. But I heard that back in the pioneer days or whatever, they used to take the wagon wheels when they would get like that and put them in the river and like put some stones on them and soak them in the river to try to get them to tighten back up. I just thought that was something interesting. Has anyone else heard about that? Anyways, that's what I've been up to as far as the buggies, trying to get that done and trying to keep up with keeping the yard mowed and the lawn mowed. It has been non-stop, big job. But I'm really grateful that my back is starting to feel better and I can get back to work. Assalamu alaikum. So I just thought it'd be fun to talk a little bit about the pros of living off the grid, living off the land, homesteading, whatever you want to call it. I was looking on YouTube and I noticed that there is not really a lot on there about the pros of it. Mostly it's people talking about either doing it, or there's a lot of talk about the things they wish they had known before they did it. So I just thought I'd go ahead and try to make a video about some of the pros of living off the grid. One thing, at least for me, is that the cost of living is actually much cheaper to live this way. Obviously, the main cost would be acquiring the land, but once you've acquired the land, you are able to live a lot cheaper. As far as some people have an idea that there's just absolutely no bills and you just live out here in flower land and there's no need for any money, and of course it's not like that. You still need money, but a little bit of money goes a lot further than it does living in an urban area, and it gives you more solutions. Like you have more options to make your money go further. If you try to grow all your own food, or as much of your own food as possible, and raise a few animals to butcher for the winter, and have a goat or a cow for milk, and another thing that it does that's positive is it gives you kind of somewhat of a purpose, because you're not just going to work for some guy every day and you're putting in 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever worth of work, and you don't really see any benefits of it other than you get a paycheck at the end of the day. So living off grid, all the work that you do, as difficult as some of it is benefiting you directly. So if you go and till the soil and plant, and then the benefits of it is you have food, and you have fresh food, and where the food came from versus buying it at the store. You have to worry about what kind of pesticides were used on it, etc., etc. So another aspect of it, I think, is living off the grid provides a less amount of stress in life, because you're kind of more, in some ways, more in control of everything. If things aren't working out, for example, you're burning some wood and it's not burning good and you need more heat, you can just go out in the woods and cut up some more wood and become warmer. Versus if you live in the city, then your furnace is broke down and you got to wait for the furnace man to get there, and everybody's furnaces are breaking down, so it's a 2-week wait and you're freezing and you got to go buy some heaters and heat your house with it until the furnace man comes, and you spend so much money. Versus living off the grid, in a lot of ways, you're able to deal with things directly yourself, hands-on. You might have to work hard, but you can do it yourself. In fact, in many cases, you have to do it yourself in order to survive. But as grim as that sounds, it creates a sense of satisfaction in that you work hard and you see exactly what the work of your hands has accomplished, because it benefits you directly. And another thing, I think living off the grid creates a little bit more of a sense of humility, is seeing your place in the world and how that everybody has to work together, to survive, and you need everybody's help. It makes you, in a sense, if you're a good person anyways, makes you feel more humble, or makes you feel humbled. It makes you feel like it's a small speck in the ocean of life, and how big and vast the creation is, and happy to be a part of it and try to live in harmony with it. And I don't know, just being in nature and being a part of it and living off the land, I think it definitely is something that can calm anxiety, and just gives you a sense of belonging, gives you a place, a purpose. So these are some of the things that people think that we're crazy, or I'm just this hobo, or people have all kind of ideas. Even people have told me how sorry they feel for us, that we have to live like this. And it's it's a choice, and the reason that we do it is because we get a sense of peace and a sense of satisfaction from doing it, and a sense of belonging. It gives you also some self-confidence, because you actually do stuff with your hands and you have to figure it out yourself. And then when you figure it out, you feel satisfied that you were able to. So those are just some of my thoughts on the positive aspects of living off grid, and why I would encourage people to, if you're able, it's not for everyone, but if you're able, and you kind of are interested in that type of thing, these are the positives of living off grid. And living a simple life, you feel more happy, because you're not worried about trying to keep up with everybody else. You're just happy to, at least I feel, happy to take what I have and try to make something out of it. And the challenge of life of turning this farm into what I want it to be is something that gives me a sense of satisfaction and contentment. And I feel awesome, very awesome, and grateful that I have this opportunity and this blessing, because there are obviously a lot of people in the world who are unable to do this, or who wish they could do it. And I would encourage anybody who wants to do it to go for it.